much for stating those. So we've talked about what are the most common mental health issues we think it's very prevalent in our society today. And you've also touched upon why these things occur, what are the most likeliest reasons. So I guess my next question has to do with what are the early signs to watch out for, like our loved ones, our friends, and our families? Like, what are the earliest signs to watch out for?
There are a lot of signs that we can actually watch out for. And some of them would be, when an individual becomes withdrawn, when an individual is withdrawn, someone that usually relates with everyone, that is an extrovert, for instance, a social person, and suddenly becomes withdrawn, keeping to their self, isolating, we need to watch out for that. Also, when someone's performance, maybe at work or even at school, it could be a young adult or a teenager now at school, start losing their grades, someone that performs highly well now becomes, someone that doesn't really do well with their grades. We need to also look out for that. Some early sign could also revolve around eating or sleeping too much or even too little. We can also watch out for when someone is having a low energy or even excessive energy. Everything has a limit. So when something becomes excessive, we need to watch out for that. So it could actually be as a result of hyper activity disorder. That is, so we need to watch out for that. Also, when you're feeling numb, when nothing matters to you, when you're avoiding to deal with certain life issues, then there's a need to also pay key attention to all of that. When someone starts feeling negative or sounding negative with the way they relate, with what they think and what they say, then there's a need to also watch out for that. There are a lot of signs, to watch out for. Feeling helpless or hopeless, having to explain or having unexplained aches and pains all over the body, smoking, drinking, using drugs a lot more than usual. These are all signs that we need to watch out for. When you feel unusually confused, when you're forgetting things, you're on the edge every time, you're angry, you're upset, you're worried or scared. There are times that we have these worries for unknown, like unknown fear. You just see that you're gripped with fear and you can't just figure out why. If this happens every time, then there's a need to, look out for that and ask yourself some questions. Why am I feeling this way? Sometimes it could be as a result of triggers. When there are a lot of triggers around, an individual and the person becomes emotional. You see someone always crying when even what they are going through does not really demand them crying. Then you should know they are overwhelmed and there's something wrong somewhere. When there's always a reason to experience severe mood swings, this can cause problems in relationship and a lot more of other aspects of life. And again, some very, very pertinent aspects or warning signs could also be when an individual is hearing voices and when they believe the things that are not true. This could come up in form of hallucinations. And, when somebody is telling you, I'm hearing the voice, and you're there, you're not hearing that voice with that person, you should question it and probably look out for that person. When someone is thinking of harming themselves, self-harm is also another very, very key warning sign to look out for. Again, I think I've mentioned this inability to perform daily tasks, like even taking care of the kids for those that have children, getting to work on time. You have this low energy, you're not motivated, you don't have the drive to do things. Sometimes even people have difficulty getting up from bed in the morning, as a result of a lot more of other issues. All of these are warning signs that we need to actually look out for. And when we begin to notice this warning sign, we shouldn't keep quiet about it. We should take positive steps to help individuals that are experiencing all of these warning signs.
Wow. Thank you once more. I'm sure this is very, very helpful to me and to a lot of people listening. So if someone is actually experiencing these signs and these symptoms you're pointing to right now, what would be the first thing you'd advise them to do? What are the steps you'd advise them to take to actually get help or get better?
Well, for people experiencing these signs, like I said, I think I mentioned it, do not keep quiet. That is the first step. Don't keep quiet. It is only when you talk about these things that people know what you're going through. Then again, understand that asking for help is a sign of strength and not a sign of weakness. So when people start noticing any of this step or any of these warning signs or symptoms, they should take drastic steps, to connect with positive-minded people, to ask for help. It could be professional help, right? Ask for professional help when needed, especially at that time. Also, staying positive could also be a very good way, to help balance your mood and your feelings. Staying positive, you could even try some distractive LD techniques that can help you stay positive in the moment. Things like getting physical exercise, get active. Exercising is a very, very important aspect that we cannot even overemphasize. When we exercise, it helps to circulate the happy hormones in our body. And so I'm going to recommend that if you start noticing any of those warning signs, move your body, get active, check in on yourself, ask questions like, why am I feeling this way? And what exactly am I feeling? When you check in on yourself, you're able to probably notice those triggers. So this would be under what I call self-awareness. Always create that part for self-awareness. Be aware of what you're feeling in your body. Also, some ways that these individuals can be helped is getting enough sleep. Most of the times we are sleep deprived. And this leads to a lot more of other mental health issues. Then, very important, developing coping skills. What can work for me as a person may not work for you. So you need to understand your body, you need to understand yourself. What are some coping skills that can work for you? You can devise some of these coping skills, things that will make you feel better in the moment. Also, I think I mentioned this already, express your feelings. For someone that is experiencing all of these warning signs, sometimes mental health issues is a result of some of our habits. So checking on your habits, what are the things you're doing that probably you're doing excessively? For instance, if you're smoking excessively, it can, lead to a lot more of those things. So let's maintain those healthy habits that can help us feel better and groom a very good mental health. A lot more of other things that we can do, but most importantly, when you feel like you can't help yourself, please get the necessary professional help of a counselor, of a therapist, and of course, join communities. There are lots of communities like this particular community that we are on right now. It's a very good one. The PeersArena community is a very good community to be part of. So a lot more of other things that we can do, but let's leave it at this for now.
Okay, thank you very much. One of the things I have noticed personally is people facing these challenges, whenever they try to speak up, they talk to people in their circles, people around them, and most times it's almost like they don't get the kind of advice or the kind of positive reinforcements that they need. And people kind of feel discouraged after going through this process. So, and upon just doing just a surface investigation, trying to see, okay, who did you talk to? And trying to reach out to that person and trying to hear from them, like, how did they take in that information and what did they say to that person, or how did they think they can better help? I realized that even some people want to help, but they don't know what to do. Like when somebody who's going through any form of challenge reaches out to them and tries to like tell them what they are going through and the rest of it. Some people sometimes are overwhelmed by these things and they don't know how to handle it. So what would be your advice to friends and families of people going through these things? Like, what would be your advice if somebody comes to me, for example, and says, okay, Tony, I'm feeling depressed, or this is what I'm going through. I'm feeling anxious more than usual and the rest of it. What would be your advice to friends and families on how to handle such situations?
Okay, thank you for that very, very important question. So for an individual, maybe friends and family, you need to first give a listening ear. Listening goes a long way in even helping the person that is expressing their feelings to you. So you have to be empathetic. You have to listen. Sometimes we don't even need to do anything in the moment. We just need to listen. Just by listening, and the person knows you are listening to them, the person feels a lot more better having someone to listen to them while they express themselves and speak up. So first, give a listening ear. And secondly, you may not even know what to do, and it's okay, but you can actually make referrals. You can actually, probably say, okay, let's look up some important centers, or probably support centers, support communities that can help you with this particular thing that you're going through. For instance, you're going through anxiety, and I can't even help you in the moment as a family member or a friend. I can make a referral. We can search for the right information, because at times our family members or friends may not have adequate information for us. They may not even be educated or well knowledgeable in that regard. So it's okay to search for the right information, and it's okay to make referrals at that point in time. And sometimes it may just be your soothing words, your encouraging words, your positive words that person needs in the moment. It could just be the reassuring words from you that they need in the moment. And so you giving that support through reassuring them, through being positive, not discouraging them or even blaming them. A lot of times family members, we put up the blame game first. So it's like, oh, why won't you feel this way when you don't sleep well? I know you don't sleep well, and that is why you're feeling this way. No, we shouldn't blame individuals that speak up and talk about all of these things. People keep quiet because they are afraid that they're going to be blamed, they're going to be judged, they're going to be stigmatized against. So as a friend or a family member, first give your listening ear, then get the necessary help from others, from communities, from centers around, and even by searching online for the right information.
Wow. Thank you very much. I'm sure that's very, very helpful, even to me. And I'm sure it will be helpful to a lot of people also. Okay. So you've talked about community.